Most people wake up every morning believing they are fine, believing that serious illness always announces itself with pain, weakness, or clear warning signs. But what if the most dangerous threat inside your body is completely silent, slowly building strength while you go about your life unaware, trusting that because you feel normal, everything must be normal too? High cholesterol is one of those conditions that doesn't shout, doesn't scream, and doesn't beg for attention. It waits patiently, quietly changing things deep inside you while you ignore it, laugh it off, or postpone thinking about it for someday later. And that is what makes it terrifying. It doesn't care about your age, your routine, or how busy you are. It doesn't care that you're providing for your family, planning your future, or dreaming big dreams. It simply accumulates, layer by layer, day by day, turning your own bloodstream into a ticking clock. Many people only learn about it after a sudden, life-changing moment. One phone call, one test result, one unexpected collapse that divides life into before and after. What's truly unsettling is that right now, as you're listening, it could already be happening inside you, without a single clear sign to warn you. The heart you trust to beat faithfully every second depends on open, healthy pathways, and when those pathways slowly narrow, the danger doesn't arrive dramatically. It arrives when you least expect it. People often think serious heart problems happen to other people, older people, weaker people, people who lived recklessly, but high cholesterol has a way of humbling those assumptions. It can exist in people who appear healthy, active, and successful, hiding behind normal energy levels and everyday routines. And because it doesn't hurt, because it doesn't interrupt your day, it's easy to forget that silence doesn't mean safety. The most chilling part is realizing how long it can exist undetected, quietly raising the risk of sudden events that leave no time for second chances or last goodbyes. One moment you're planning tomorrow, the next moment everything changes. Families are often left asking how this could happen when there were no obvious warnings, no dramatic symptoms, no reason to worry, until it was too late. That's the cruel trick of high cholesterol. It builds a false sense of security while slowly setting the stage for irreversible damage. And once that damage reaches a certain point, there are no rewinds, no resets, no opportunities to go back and take it seriously earlier. This is why understanding it matters, not in a casual way, not as background health information, but as something that could be directly connected to your future, your independence, and the people who rely on you. Because the real danger isn't just the condition itself. It's the belief that if something were wrong, you would surely feel it. High cholesterol proves that belief wrong, and that realization alone is enough to make anyone pause, reflect, and question what might be happening beneath the surface right now. High cholesterol is a condition where there is too much cholesterol circulating in your blood, and to understand it properly, it helps to think of cholesterol not as something evil, but as a substance your body actually needs in the right amount. Cholesterol is a waxy, fat-like material that your body uses to build cells, make hormones, and support many essential functions that keep you alive every day. The problem begins when the balance is lost. When cholesterol levels rise beyond what your body can safely manage, it stops being helpful and slowly becomes harmful. Instead of moving smoothly through your blood vessels, excess cholesterol begins to settle along the inner walls of your arteries. Over time, these deposits can harden and narrow the space where blood is supposed to flow freely. This doesn't happen overnight, and that slow pace is exactly why it's so dangerous. Your heart keeps pumping, your body keeps working, and you feel normal, while inside, those blood vessels are quietly becoming tighter and less flexible. Cholesterol itself travels through your bloodstream attached to proteins, forming particles that act like delivery vehicles. Some of these particles are meant to bring cholesterol to cells that need it, while others carry extra cholesterol back to the liver to be removed. High cholesterol means this system is overwhelmed, and more cholesterol is being left behind and taken away. As this buildup increases, it changes the smooth inner lining of the arteries into rough, uneven surfaces. Blood has a harder time flowing through, and the heart must work harder to push blood to vital organs like the brain and the heart itself. What makes this disease especially confusing is that it doesn't behave like an infection or an injury. There is no fever, no wound, no immediate signal that something is wrong. It's more like rust forming inside a pipe you can't see. Everything appears fine until the flow is suddenly restricted enough to cause a serious problem. High cholesterol is not a short-term issue. It is a long-term process that develops silently over years, sometimes decades. Many people are shocked when they first hear they have it because they don't feel sick and never expected it. This condition doesn't choose people based on how energetic they look or how busy their lives are. It can exist in people who feel strong, productive, and completely capable. That's why doctors take it seriously even when patients feel perfectly well. High cholesterol is essentially a warning sign, a message from the body that something is slowly shifting in a direction that could become dangerous if ignored. Understanding what it is gives you power, because once you know what's happening inside your body, you're no longer in the dark. You're no longer relying on how you feel to judge your health. You begin to realize that protecting your heart and blood vessels is not about reacting to pain, but about paying attention before pain ever appears. And if this explanation made you pause, even for a moment, that's a good thing, because awareness is often the very first step toward protecting your future and the people who care about you. High cholesterol develops for many reasons, and most of the time it is not caused by just one single thing, but by a quiet combination of daily habits, body chemistry, and life circumstances that slowly add up over the years. One of the biggest reasons is how the body handles fats and sugars over time, especially when modern life makes it easy to eat more than we burn and move less than we should. When food choices are heavy in fatty, processed, or sugary items, the body may produce more cholesterol than it can clear away, even if a person doesn't feel they are overeating. At the same time, long hours of sitting, working, driving, or resting without enough physical movement can slow the body's ability to use fats efficiently, allowing cholesterol to stay longer in the bloodstream. But causes go deeper than lifestyle alone. Some people are born with a tendency for higher cholesterol because of the way their liver works. In these cases, even with careful habits, the body naturally makes more cholesterol than it needs. This can feel unfair, and many patients feel frustrated when they hear this. But it's important to understand that high cholesterol is not a moral failure or a sign of laziness. Hormonal changes also play a role, especially as people age. As the body gets older, its systems become less efficient at clearing excess cholesterol, and levels can rise quietly year after year. Stress is another hidden contributor that many people underestimate. Long-term stress affects hormones that influence how fats are processed, and it often leads to comfort eating, poor sleep, and fatigue, all of which indirectly push cholesterol higher. Sleep itself matters more than people realize. When sleep is short or irregular for long periods, the body's balance is disturbed and cholesterol regulation can suffer. Weight gain, especially around the abdomen, changes how the body stores and releases fat into the blood, increasing cholesterol levels even in people who don't consider themselves overweight. Smoking and regular exposure to toxins also damage the inner lining of blood vessels, making it easier for cholesterol to stick and build up. Even certain medical conditions can quietly push cholesterol higher without obvious warning, altering how the body uses energy and fats. What makes these causes especially tricky is that they often develop slowly and feel normal. Busy schedules, stress, poor sleep, and convenience foods become part of everyday life, so the changes inside the body go unnoticed. Many people tell me they thought they were doing okay. Not perfect, but not bad either. And that's exactly where high cholesterol often grows, in that comfortable middle ground where urgency feels unnecessary. Understanding the causes is not about blame, it's about awareness. When you know that high cholesterol often comes from long-term patterns rather than sudden mistakes, you begin to see why early attention matters so much. If this explanation connects with your life even a little, take that feeling seriously. Let it be a gentle push to listen more closely to your body, ask questions, and care for yourself with the same concern you would show someone you love. Because small awareness today can protect your tomorrows in ways you may never fully see, but will deeply benefit from. One of the most confusing and unsettling things about high cholesterol is that, for most people, it has no clear symptoms at all, at least not in the way we usually expect illness to show itself. And this is something I always take time to explain gently to my patients because it can feel frightening to hear. You may wake up with energy, go through your day, work, laugh, eat, and sleep without pain or discomfort, and still have cholesterol levels that are quietly putting strain on your heart and blood vessels. That silence is the most common symptom, and it's why so many people are caught off guard. However, as time passes and cholesterol continues to build inside the arteries, the body may begin to send subtle signals that are easy to ignore or blame on stress, age, or tiredness. Some people notice getting tired more easily than before, feeling short of breath during activities that once felt normal, or experiencing a vague heaviness or pressure in the chest that comes and goes. Others may feel discomfort in the neck, jaw, arms, or back without realizing it could be connected to reduced blood flow. These sensations are often mild at first, inconsistent, and not dramatic enough to cause immediate alarm, which is why they are frequently dismissed. In some cases, poor circulation caused by narrowed arteries can lead to coldness or numbness in the hands and feet, or a sense that wounds heal more slowly than they used to. Vision may blur briefly if blood flow to the eyes is affected, or dizziness may appear without a clear reason. There are also physical signs that can sometimes appear on the body, such as small, yellowish deposits on the skin, especially around the eyes, elbows, or knees, which are collections of cholesterol under the skin, but these are not present in everyone. The most serious symptoms often appear suddenly, without much warning, when cholesterol buildup has already reached a dangerous point. A heart attack or stroke can be the first obvious sign that something has been wrong for years. This is deeply upsetting for patients and families, especially when there were no strong signals beforehand. It's important to understand that these events are not random. They are the result of long-term changes happening silently inside the body. That is why relying on how you feel is not a reliable way to judge cholesterol health. Feeling fine does not always mean being safe. I tell patients to think of symptoms not as loud alarms, but as whispers, and sometimes not even whispers, just absence of sound. That's why regular checkups and blood tests matter so much, even when life feels busy and health feels stable. If any part of this sounds familiar, or if you've ever thought, "I feel okay, so I must be okay," I want you to pause and take a breath. Listening to your body also means listening when it is quiet. Take that small step to learn more, to check in, and to care for yourself gently, because paying attention now can protect your heart, your future, and the moments you still want to live fully with the people you love. Preventing high cholesterol is not about fear or perfection. It's about gentle, steady care for your body over time. And I want you to think of it as a long conversation you have with your health rather than a strict set of rules you must follow. Prevention begins with understanding that small daily choices quietly shape what happens inside your blood vessels, even when you feel completely fine on the outside. What you eat regularly matters because food is information for your body. And when meals are mostly natural, balanced, and eaten with awareness, your body can manage fats more smoothly and efficiently. Movement is another powerful form of protection, not intense exercise that feels overwhelming, but consistent activity that keeps blood flowing and helps the body use cholesterol instead of letting it settle. Even simple walking, done regularly, sends a message to your heart and blood vessels that they are meant to stay open and flexible. Sleep also plays a surprisingly important role in prevention. When you rest well, your body repairs itself, balances hormones, and regulates cholesterol more effectively, while long-term poor sleep quietly disrupts this balance. Managing stress is just as important because ongoing stress changes how your body handles fats and often pushes people toward habits that raise cholesterol without realizing it. Taking moments to slow down, breathe, and reset is not a luxury. It's a form of heart protection. Preventing high cholesterol also means paying attention before problems start. Regular health checkups and simple blood tests allow you to see what's happening beneath the surface, even when you feel healthy and strong. This awareness gives you the chance to make changes early, when they are easier and more effective. If cholesterol levels are already slightly high, prevention is about stopping progression and protecting your future, not judging your past. For some people, genetics play a role, and prevention then becomes a partnership between lifestyle awareness and medical guidance, not a personal failure. Avoiding smoking and limiting harmful substances protects the inner lining of your blood vessels, making it harder for cholesterol to stick and build up. Maintaining a healthy body weight helps your metabolism work more smoothly and reduces strain on your heart. But this should always be approached with kindness, not pressure. Prevention works best when it fits into real life, not when it feels like punishment. I always remind patients that consistency matters far more than extremes. One healthy choice today, repeated over time, is far more powerful than sudden changes that don't last. Preventing high cholesterol is really about respecting your future self, the one who wants energy, independence, and time with the people they love. If you're listening right now and thinking that maybe it's time to take your health a little more seriously, that feeling is worth honoring. Start with one small step, one question, one check-in with your body, because caring for your heart today is one of the quietest and most meaningful ways to protect your tomorrows. When it comes to treating high cholesterol, I want you to know first that this is not about fear or sudden drastic measures, but about creating a plan that fits your life and protects your heart step by step. Treatment usually begins with understanding your personal risk and your current cholesterol levels, because no two bodies are exactly the same. For many people, the first approach focuses on adjusting daily habits in a realistic, sustainable way, not overnight changes that feel impossible to maintain. Improving food choices, increasing regular movement, managing stress, and improving sleep often work together to help the body lower cholesterol naturally over time. These changes may sound simple, but when done consistently, they can have a powerful effect inside the blood vessels, slowly reducing buildup and allowing better blood flow. Sometimes, despite best efforts, lifestyle changes alone are not enough, especially when genetics play a strong role or cholesterol levels are already high. In those cases, medication becomes an important and supportive tool, not a failure. Cholesterol-lowering medicines work by helping the body reduce how much cholesterol it makes or by helping remove excess cholesterol from the bloodstream. Many patients worry about starting medication, but when prescribed carefully and monitored properly, these treatments have helped millions of people worldwide reduce their risk of heart attacks and strokes. Treatment is not a one-time decision. It is an ongoing conversation between you and your doctor, where adjustments are made based on how your body responds. Regular follow-up tests are part of the solution, not because something is wrong, but because progress deserves to be measured and guided. For some people, combining medication with healthy habits creates the strongest protection, like reinforcing a weak wall from both sides. It's also important to treat high cholesterol with patience, because improvement happens gradually and expecting instant results can lead to frustration. Every small improvement matters, even when numbers change slowly. Emotional support is part of treatment too, because stress, fear, or guilt can quietly interfere with progress. I often remind patients that this condition does not define them, and managing it is an act of self-respect, not punishment. Treatment also means staying informed, asking questions, and understanding why certain steps are recommended, so you feel involved rather than overwhelmed. When people feel supported and informed, they are far more likely to stick with their plan and see long-term benefits. The real goal of treatment is not just lowering a number on a report, but protecting your heart, your brain, your energy, and your future quality of life. It's about reducing the chance that one silent condition takes away moments you haven't lived yet. If you're listening to this and feeling uncertain or anxious, that's okay. Let that feeling guide you toward action, not fear. Talk to a healthcare professional, get your levels checked, and take one step at a time, because choosing to care for your heart today is one of the most powerful gifts you can give yourself and the people who want you around for many healthy years to come. As we come to the end of this conversation, I want you to take a quiet moment and really sit with what you've heard, not with fear, but with care for yourself, because everything we talked about today is ultimately about protecting your life, your time, and the people who matter most to you. High cholesterol may be silent, but your response to it doesn't have to be dramatic or overwhelming. It can begin gently, with awareness, with a simple decision to pay attention, to check in with your health instead of assuming everything is fine just because you feel okay. You don't need to change everything at once, and you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be willing to take that first small step, whether that's booking a checkup, asking a question, or making one healthier choice today than you made yesterday. Your heart has been working for you every second of your life without asking for anything in return, and giving it a little care now is a quiet way of saying thank you. If this video made you think of yourself or someone you love, don't ignore that feeling. Let it guide you toward action, not anxiety. Share this information with someone who might need it. Talk openly about health. And remember that looking after your body is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of responsibility and self-respect. You deserve a future where your energy, your independence, and your moments with loved ones are protected. And that future is shaped not by one big decision, but by many small, kind choices made consistently over time. If you found value in this, stay connected, keep learning, and keep listening to your body, because caring for your health today is one of the most powerful ways to show love to yourself and to those who want you here for many years to come.